The 13th of June, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
So I mentioned, good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tzalmanashi here in Schleimke Zoom. This is our second Shir Mishnah Berura. We are now returning to Chelik base in the Mishnah Berura. Siman Kuf Nun Tet, 159. This is, as you may remember, we left off with this sometime before Purim, about the laws relevant to Netilas Yadayim, specifically for washing for bread. And many other times you did wash your hands as well, and the laws do vary from what situation you're obligated to wash for. I mean, for davening, for coming out of the bathroom, just in general cleanliness, and here more specifically when you're washing for the necessity of making a motzi. So that brings us to Kuf Nun Tet. We actually started these halachas, but I think it's worthwhile beginning from the beginning just so we should get a good, clear foundation for what we're learning about here. Again, Siman Kuf Nun Tet. This is going to be discussing the laws relevant to the type of vessel you can use to wash your hands with. Not just any old vessel is going to be good enough to wash your hands. You need to have vessels which are approved by the halacha kasardis and are permissible according to halacha. Okay, let's see. Mayor, I think you read earlier the previous year. Maybe Lou, you want to read? Want to take over and do a little reading this morning?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure. Okay.
So, let's see. Ein not lean liadim ella v'cheli. B'cheli.
Bikli.
B'kli. B'kli. I have it, I have the kuf with no dot and a segul underneath it.
Fine, if you like.
Anyway, Bakli. You only wash our hands with a kli, with a vessel. V'chol hakelim kisherim afilu keli gulalim. And any vessel is kosher, even a vessel made out of dung.
Yes, even a vessel made out of dung.
Okay. Perush, Kalim, Asuyim, May Refesh, Bakar, Va'afar. So the explanation, vessels, what is Asuyim?
Sorry, that are made from.
Vessels that are made from refes is garbage.
Refus is like a corral.
A corral?
Yep.
Like a pen that you hold the animals in?
Yes, that's right.
A corral, Corral. Bakar,
Bakar is cattle. It's a kli which is made from that which you find in the corral of cattle, bovines.
And dust and dirt.
Afar is that which is dirt, correct.
So in other words, the dung is the cattle dung?
Yes, yes. They in previous generations they weren't so fortunate as we to have various different building materials, so they were very interested and careful to use all their resources as much as possible. So even the refuse of the cows was used for building materials, for making kalim. And it didn't have any compunctions or any stigmas about those things. Mm. I'm sure Bismillah, the Board of Health would not be so happy.
Well, it's interesting because there's a book called Go My Son, which was written by a rabbi who, as a young man, fled the Nazis into Russia. And he found himself in the outback area of Russia, of the Soviet Union, I should say, um, where they were so poor and so desperate for survival, particularly in the cold, that that dung was actually a commodity, and he ended up having to steal dung in order to survive because he needed it for for fire.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. It's not just there, but in throughout history, it was a commodity, and even I'm sure even in certain places in the world, it's still a commodity. I remember when I first started taking my hikes out west. I inquired of my native Arizonians, and in the fields we were walking, and I said, those are called buffalo chips. Yeah, buffalo chips.
Right, right. Buffalo
You-
chips.
If you if you remember those days.
I
So
remember that phrase, yes, from my days in California.
yeah, yeah. So even till this day, I'm not surprised that in certain areas, certain cultures and uh, situations they're used. And again, the health department may not be so happy with you making your drinking glasses out of them, but you probably could get away with it.
I don't know if I want to get away with it, but
Yeah, yeah.
okay. The Calais Avanim Ukale Adama. So they can even be made out of dung and out uh, of avanim, Evan.
That's stones. You could make them
Stone,
out of stones. Could be stone vessels made up of stone vessels.
stone and earth.
Yep.
Would
Maybe
that be like
clay
clay?
or type.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yeah.
I said, would that be like clay, for example?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Uh, Utsarich shigehei machazik revi'is. And it's required that there be machazik, I guess means a measurement
Moxic means to contain or to hold.
to
Contain or hold.
contain a revis. So it has to be big enough to contain a revis.
Right. So we're not so concerned about what the material that it's made of, but the fact that it should hold a release, that's what's crucial.
Right. And a revis is something like around 4 ounces, right?
Release, actually, it's a little bit less than that. Release would be about, yeah, but I guess between 3 and 4 ounces, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your standard Kiddush cup should be about a release also.
Right, right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
V'im nikav bechones mashke. And if nikav, I don't know.
So if it's going to be nikiv, meaning a hole, it's going to have a hole of sorts.
Hole like HOLE.
Yes, that's right.
If there's a hole, and what is conase?
Bikoines mashke, mashke is liquid. That a hole that will allow liquid to penetrate. Koines is to penetrate. If there's a hole which is gonna koines mashke, a hole which will allow liquid to penetrate.
Okay. V'hayinu she'im, I'm sorry, dihayinu she'im yasimu oso al mashkim yikansu b'socho derech hanekev. That it is that if you put into it liquid that penetrates into it in the way of what is nekev?
Derech hanekev, meaning if the liquid will penetrate through the hole.
So nekev means the hole.
Right, nekev is the hole, right?
Nekev is the hole. That's right. So if it penetrates by way of the hole or through the hole, v'hu gadol mi nekev she'hamashkim she'betoch hakli yotzim bo. And it is large.
It's this hole is larger. This hole is larger.
This is a larger hole.
Yeah, meaning let me just explain that there are two different criteria for holes. One is a hole that will allow liquid to penetrate. That's what we've been explaining up till now. And then there's a hole that will allow liquid to escape. And in general, the hole which allows liquid to penetrate is larger than a hole which is going to allow liquid to escape. So that's what's being discussed and described over here.
So we're talking about a spout. The small hole is a spout.
No, it's actually a hole. Meaning, let me explain. We'll see in the Mishna Berura a little bit more of the details about this. But if you have a hole, right? Let's talk about the hole that allows liquid to escape. You have a vessel and you have a hole in it, and you fill it with liquid. Okay, you fill it with liquid, and you see that the liquid which is in the vessel is escaping. It's dripping out, oozing out. It's flowing out, gushing out, whatever it happens to be. But the liquid which is in the vessel is escaping out of the vessel through the hole. Okay, that's a hole which is allowing liquid to escape. In contrast, you have a hole which will allow liquid to penetrate. Meaning, let's say you have an empty vessel, and you submerge the vessel in liquid. I'll use you have a submarine. You have a submarine, right?
Yeah.
So a submarine, it's not a very good thing if a submarine springs a leak, right? That's not very nice to happen,
No.
couple of thousand leagues under the 200,000, what is it? 20,000 leagues under the sea. What was it called there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. 20,000 leagues.
20. Yeah, you don't want to spring a leak down there.
No, not a good idea.
Not a good idea. So that's a hole that's allowing liquid to penetrate. Okay? That hole is a different size, meaning the same thing's happening. Liquid either is escaping or liquid is penetrating. But the hole which allows liquid to penetrate we'll see, is in general going to be considered to be a larger hole than a hole which will allow liquid to escape.
So, um, when I said a spout, I was thinking of like a teapot. You've got
Right.
you've got the if you take the lid off, so you've got a hole that you can pour water into the teapot. I presume that's what you mean when you say penetrate.
Well, that's like a built-in hole. Here we're talking about you have you don't really want in either case you don't want this hole. It could be a crack, it could be some type of puncture, right? Some type of puncture, right? You don't want that, right? So
That's the big hole you don't want, or the little hole?
well, the hole which is bigger is the one that's going to allow the water to penetrate.
Right. So why would you say it's not the opening of the teapot?
Well, I mean, that's clearly that will not necessarily that won't that's not considered a hole. That's considered something which is considered to be like the rim of the vessel, right? That's intentionally built into the vessel itself, right? Talking about that the teapot has some type of a hole in its side, which is if you would fill it up with liquid, the liquid would come out, or if you would submerge it in water, the liquid would penetrate.
Holes are not one way. I mean, if you can penetrate with a hole, you can escape with the same hole.
No, and that's what it's being taught over here. The ability for water to penetrate requires a larger hole than water to escape. Okay, why that should be, I don't know, but if you want to win a Nobel Prize, you can look into it, and I'm sure you'll win the Nobel Prize when you discover what the principle is based upon.
I've got to be a Nobel laureate in order to wash my hands.
No, just make sure you don't have any holes in your vessels that you use. That's all.
Okay. All right. So it's a big it's a large hole. Um, that the liquid that is in the clee comes out from it.
So let me just we probably have to stop here anyway, but let me just we'll review this again. Today's the last day of the week. We'll review this again next week. But basically, let me just put if you have a hole and for liquid to penetrate an empty vessel, right? Unless it's like I said, it's 20,000 leagues under the sea, in which case they have a lot of water pressure, which is going to force the liquid in, right? But if you simply put a vessel in a sink full of water, let's say, just hold it like 5 or 6 inches underneath the water level, right? There's not too much water pressure, which is forcing the water to come in, right?
Right.
But if you have a vessel which is filled with water, right, and there's a hole there, the natural force, whether it's gravity or other thing, is going to cause the water to come out, right? So therefore, for the same amount of water to penetrate, you need a larger hole than you need for the same amount of water to escape. But the Mishna is going to discuss this in detail. We'll see how it is described in the Mishna Berura.
Okay, have something to look forward to.
Okay, very good. So we'll have to stop here.
All right, thank you, Rabbi. Appreciate your help.
Thank you, you too, Mitzvah Shem. Hope to see you tomorrow, 9:30 if possible. If not, I guess Yom Rishon.
Hopefully tomorrow. There's a bunch of stuff going on with Yossi's apartment, so I can't be sure, but hopefully I'll be able to go to the shirim and then go over to his apartment afterwards.
All right, Be'ez Hashem. And I'll see if I can get something for the newsletter in the next 6 hours or so.
Oh, I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, very good. I'll try. So I'm gonna look on my files, maybe with something back already prepared. I'll see. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it's a good idea.
Fine. Okay, have a good day. Hope to see you
Okay.
tomorrow or next week. Be well.
All right.
Have a good day, Rabbi.
Enjoy your Yisroel.
Rabbi, have a good day, Mayor.
You too.